This is what I was doing less than 5 minutes ago. I was clapping for Bill Nye. For those of you who don't know, what just literally finished 10 minutes ago was Bill Nye the Science Guy debate with Answering Genesis CEO Ken Ham. Was it an absolute fucking massacre? I mean, massacre. Here's the thing. I went into watching this debate hoping that Ken Ham would actually be able to present some relatively coherent thoughts, opinions, arguments, beliefs, defending his faith, defending his religion, defending his book. But I was sadly disappointed. I actually wanted to see a good dialogue between Bill Nye and Ken Ham. That did not happen. During this massive debate, I was jotting down little things that really irked me and annoyed me that don't make a lot of sense, and some of the things that I learned throughout this debate. And the first thing is, Ken Ham's presentation was atrocious. Absolutely atrocious. And I'm not saying this because he's a Christian or because he's religious. I'm saying this because they were just bad. Like, I was shocked at how bad this was. He starts his presentation off with other people's videos saying so-and-so believes this, so-and-so is a biblical literalist. He has a PhD in this, or PhD in biology, a PhD in physics, and then he uses a short clip of them to describe, yes, they're Christian, yes, they believe in the Bible, yes, so-and-so, they have a PhD. And it was crazy because in this debate, later on in the video, and I have it linked down below if you want to watch the whole thing, it's almost 3 hours long, but during the debate, he keeps referencing, well, my colleagues, the people that I showed in my videos who have a PhD, they believe in what I believe. They have a PhD in biochemistry. They believe in biblical I can't even speak, literacy. And I'm thinking to myself, you're really going to attempt to respond to Bill Nye by saying because your colleagues have PhDs in whatever and believe in the same shit that you believe, that somehow makes you more correct? No, that's one of the basic fallacies, which is known as the appeal to authority or appeal to popularity. Just because your friends believe it doesn't make you automatically right. What else do I have on here? A little thing that I loved about Bill Nye. Bill Nye completely destroyed Ken Ham in regards to certain types of kinds of animals in the Ark, Noah's Ark. You know, you have to have two different kinds of animals, and he did this using a mathematical calculation. Which, watch the video, but because the Earth is 6,000 years old, and because of the time frame, basically Bill Nye said that there would have to be 11 different kinds of new animals found every single day in order for this type of logic of having two kinds of every single animal even go on the Ark. Another great point that Bill Nye brought up, which I had never thought about, is regarding Noah's Ark. And refuting the Ark is, there was, in the early 1900s, a gigantic wooden boat called the Wyoming, which we humans designed and made, all out of complete wood. The thing about that, though, is that with this boat would bend, because it would bend, and would bend forward and back, because it was literally wood, one of the biggest boats, and that it would leak all the time, and it was a terrible boat, and the Ark is almost double that size, and is made of the same type of materials, and yet we, all these hundreds of years later, have made this terrible boat known as the Wyoming, which was terrible, and back then, supposedly they made an Ark which could carry thousands of animals and was all made of wood. Is just, I never thought about that specific analogy that he used with the Wyoming boat that was made in the 1900s versus the boat thousands upon thousands of years ago. Another little thing that really irked me is that Ken Ham consistently throughout his video was like, we can't prove for certain how old the Earth is. And then he would go to say, the Earth is 6,000 years old. I mean, this is the type of shit that it wasn't even really a debate. This was Ken Ham didn't rebuttal or respond to anything that Bill Nye said. And I came into this debate with no bias. I assure you that. Like, I like Bill Nye, and I know he's an intelligent person, and I believe and agree with a lot of the stuff that he said, but I wanted to see Ken Ham actually attempt to argue and attempt to defend his position and his beliefs. Another thing that really bothered me about this whole video is Ken Ham's stupidity in regards to a question that was asked during the Q&A, which was, What would you do to change your mind? If you could be proven wrong about something in the Bible, would it change your mind? And you know what he said? No, it wouldn't. That's the type of deep person you're dealing with. That's the type of creationist you're dealing with, that even if they can be proven wrong, he even openly admitted this in the debate, that he wouldn't change his mind if he got proven wrong. One of my biggest critiques and biggest problems with this entire discussion was the fact that Ken Ham could not answer a damn thing without saying, well, there's a book called this. There's a book called the Bible. You know, the Bible says, the Bible says, the Bible says, the Bible says. Most of all of his responses was the Bible says. And I have ran into intelligent Christians who have been able to actually talk about their beliefs and why they believe what they believe without incorporating the Bible. He made stupid statements like, God created marriage. Marriage was created by God. I don't know why he mentioned that in the debate. But Bill Nye absolutely wiped the floor and there was parts of the debate where I was laughing because Bill Nye was just kind of like, sitting there kind of like I wanted to put little captions to his head like, you've got to be fucking shitting me. Did he really just say that? And maybe some Christians can answer this to me, but Ken Ham near the end of his video was talking about the literal interpretation of the Bible in which Bill Nye was critiquing, and he says that it's important for people to take the Bible naturally. I don't know what you mean by that. I have never heard someone make the claim that it's important to take the Bible. I've heard take the Bible literally, but not take the Bible naturally. What does that mean? That the Bible was made out of paper from trees? I have no idea. In any case, ladies and gentlemen, I just wanted to compile my thoughts and jumble my little notes that I wrote down here and throw them in a video like this. I'm actually going to be making a parody video this coming week called Ken Ham Logic, where I'm going to be taking your guys' tweets and comments and compiling them into a video and making I guess you could say, parody of Ken Ham's ability to not think rationally and be able to respond to anything coherently without saying, the Bible says so. Oh yeah, and I almost forgot. Debating creationists is like playing chess with a pigeon. They knock all the pieces over, shit on the chessboard, and then fly away to claim their victory. That's why I don't debate creationists.